Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with a 150 Motorsport mini challenge. We're going to have 6 tracks over the season. We're going to have some very short circuits indeed. In fact, I can tell you the first 3 rounds right now. We are going off to Brands Hatch Indy for the first one. Then we're going to go to Donington National for round number 2, and then we're finishing off round number 3 with Alton Park. Rounds 4, 5 and 6 are to be determined. I have put my pick in. I wanted Thruxton. I'll have to see if Sam will give it to me, but we're going to find out here as well. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth not by Alex Goldschmidt this season, but by Tom Cairns, who's going to come along for the ride for this 6-round banger of an evening of racing. We've got 2 15-minute heats lined up, with the second one being a full reverse grid, and then we will be going into qualifying, which is what we're in right now, with about 11 minutes to go. You can see Jake Hewlett out in top at the moment on a 49.882, and with 15 minutes these guys are going to be doing about 16, maybe 17 laps over the course of this Indy circuit. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Don't forget, guys, if you are here for the first time, say hi, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's bring Tom Cairns into the booth. Tom, welcome in. How are you?
Hello, James. Hello to everyone. Yes, we are at the Brands Hatch Indy course to kickstart this brand new season with these Mini Coopers. Lovely to see around this lovely circuit of Brands Hatch, located in the county of Kent in the United Kingdom. Lovely racetrack indeed. Of course, I went there for the British Touring Car season finale. It was a mixture of conditions, but it was thankful to see Jake Hill come out on top and take his first British Touring Car title on the day itself. In the meantime, Mini Coopers are what we are seeing on this brilliant race. So I have to say, Brands Hatch and Mini Coopers, I think it works out nicely, don't you think?
I think it does, to be blatantly honest. They're 265 brake horsepower, 369 Newton meters of torque, bringing them up to the grand total of 3,500 RPM. So there we go. They're not speedy by any short of the imagination, but they're going to be quick around here, as Brands Hatch Indy, Tom, we know, is one of the shorter layouts of Brands. It's, you know, used in the BTCC 1.20 miles in track length, and as I say, lap times of around about, well, we've got 49.683 seconds. Not long at all here, and they're going to be whizzing around here at some rate of knots.
I'd imagine so as well, though. For those wondering when British Touring Cars will race at the Brands Hatch Indy course, it's on the 10th and 11th of May, which I hope to go there as well. And I'm sure there is like a mini challenge that'll be racing as well alongside British Touring Cars. Hopefully there will be racing at Brands Hatch Indy back then. But yes, it's a lovely course, this. I loved it when I went. I've loved it when you sort of walk round the Brabham Straight on the outside and then head down towards Paddock Hill Bend, where it's very much the peak viewing point for any fan watching any form of racing around there. But of course, there's many other viewing points you could watch around, especially through clearways, because it is a lovely circuit. And believe it or not, when you're standing around where the Brabham Straight is, James, just maybe on the edge closer to where clearways is, you can very much see the whole Brands Hatch Indy course. It's so satisfying to see.
Yeah, that's one of the things with Brands, and I was looking up at heading up to Brands for the BTCC. Is it the 1st of May? I think, if I'm not mistaken, might be the first weekend or the 1st. I'll have to double check on that one as well. I was going to go up for the weekend, bring the old caravan up and park it up there as well, and then go and have a look and see what's going on. But it's going to be interesting, I think. You know, they're going to be whizzing around here quite quickly. Hewlett again producing speed. Alicia in YouTube chat. Hello, Alicia. What did you feed him for dinner tonight? As we all know that you're fond of the old caviar and prawn dip or whatever it was. I can't even remember what it was you had last time, to be honest with you. Something with gorgonzola in, if I remember correctly. But I think this is the thing. We've got 10 cars taking part at the moment. I know a couple of people are away, but that 10 cars is probably going to bring some great racing at this short circuit.
You would think so. And I would expect it to as well, especially when we've got the reverse grid later on for the second of the 2 15-minute races we have here this evening. So it's not just the one we are going to be seeing, which will be determined by the qualifying results, and hence the reverse grid for later on. So Jake Hewlett, who we expect to go into this as the firm favourite, considering his experience, both on the virtual front and in real life, because he is a real-life racer, I believe, James, or at least he... Yep. So we expect him to be the quickest, but how good is his racecraft? We'll have to see further down the line.
Well, we're going to find out. It generally hasn't really been touched in any of the series he's been in. Wasn't really much here for much of the Ginettas, but I think at the end of the day, I think now he's appeared for the minis. To be honest, these do look great fun. I want to have a go. I want to race, because I think that would be absolutely amazing. They look absolutely incredible. Just boring chicken wrapped in bacon. Oh, okay. What, with gorgonzola and caviar on the side, Alicia? Is that what you had, is it? On that one. Fine dining in the Jake Hewlett household, you see, with Alicia doing some quality grub over in that household. We've got some new names as well. Will Johnson's taking part. We've got the returning Butsy, Sam Hayes. We've got Crypto Dave. That's quite interesting. I know they were asked to change their names to their real names for us, but we'll go with Crypto Dave. Harry, Jake, Justin Kirk, Ryan Turner, and Bob, apparently. So there you go. Jake and Will Butsy are both in Civic Cup. Yep, they are as well. I'm still waiting for... Somebody reached out to me about a track day. I can't remember who it was. Who was I discussing a track day with in the Discord? I think it might have been Chris McIntosh, actually. Was it Chris McIntosh? No, it wasn't Chris McIntosh. It might be Will Butsy. Some of us, they were talking to me about doing a ride in a car at Fruxton. I can't remember when it was. It just slipped my mind, unfortunately, on that one. Then again, I've done loads since the last one as well, so that would be absolutely amazing and great to see as well. If you're ever down at Fruxton, Alicia, let me know and I'll pop up and say hello. It's literally up the road. Well, saying up the road, nothing's up the road from where I am. It's about 45 minutes away, Tom, so you know, I've got to travel a little bit, like.
Yeah. Absolutely, I think depending on some of which who travel to like Knockhill, for instance, thinking that might see that is a track. I've never been to Knockhill myself, but I will want to try and experience what the circuit is like there, because apparently it's a rather nice circuit, as well as Alton Park, which is a circuit which this championship will be contesting this season for round 3. We go to Donington Park on the national configuration for round 2, and then Alton Park for round 3, and then the final 3 rounds of the season are still to be confirmed as we speak.
Yeah, they are. Sam Hayes taking a trip down the grass there, unfortunately for him, through Graham Hill. My 150 looks like a barn field right now, so I'll have to get her going. Yeah, get her going. Give me a shout. I'll come down and test the driver for you. We'll go down to Fruxton. Or I'm up in Santa Pod in a couple of weeks, not this weekend, next week, the following weekend as well, with my son doing his junior drag biking. So if you want to come up and say hello at Santa Pod and enjoy the Festival of Power, which is some massive jet cars and drag cars going 0 to 300 mile an hour in about 2 seconds and covering a quarter mile in just under 3. Come along. It's a good old weekend up there for everybody. We've got 4.5 minutes left of qualifying, and we'll see how these guys get on. But at the moment, Hewlett's out in front by half a second. And then he's got 9 tenths over Butsy, 9 tenths over Dave, 9 tenths over Sam Hayes. A second to Harry, Jake, Kirk, Turner, and Bob at the back as well. Good old Bob. Who's driving around in his little Mini. What do we think? I see that the thing is with me, with this circuit, I see any part of this circuit as an opportunity to overtake, right? And especially if you've got these little Minis, surely you can have a go throwing it up the inside into Clark and round that way, can't we? Surely this track is open to everything at any point, any time, anywhere.
Yeah, we've seen some lockouts from the drivers through clearways as well, James, so definitely clearways is going to be one of those to get an overtake done. I will agree with you on the fact that any of the 6 corners are going to be overtaking opportunities. It's like what we see during the Formula Ford Festival with the... Well, it doesn't matter which series you compete in, because I have seen some drivers like Sam Hayward, for instance, who I've seen compete in the CMMCS Championship, where they do some of their racing over at Brands at times. And they put on some really good racing, and any corner is an overtaking opportunity at. And so yeah, I would say we are going to see a lot of overtaking happening, certainly in race 2, when we see some of the faster drivers come through the field. And given the number of laps we're going to have with it being as short as it is, we are seeing times in the 49-50 second mark.
Oh, that's not going to help. Don't do that, Harry. That's grass there, son. Can't be doing that at the moment.
We've seen Harry going over the line and see if he does improve his time. He is 8th quickest at the moment. I don't think that was an improvement at that time around. It wasn't going to be if he was going that far onto the grass.
No. And through the gravel, unfortunately for poor old Harry there. So he's going to have to go and wait. On board with Justin Kirk at the moment. Best lap time of a 50.508. He's just set it So great time from him. Will Johnson on a 50.17, and then Crypto Dave on 50.446 with 2 minutes to go. And I think this is one of the things with Indy. I love the Indy circuit. I think it's underused in many series, partly due to the fact that they don't like going whizzing round in 49-second laps. But I think Indy is an unused circuit in many leagues, and I'd love to see it a little bit more, whether that be in AC, ACC, iRacing, and whatever. I think they're the only three that, to be honest, I've got it. I can't think of anything else. Factor 2 as well, and there's one more. I can't remember the name of it, but I think
Project
it's.
Cars?
Yeah, well, do they have it? I don't really know. I don't really do much within Project Cars. No, there's one more. Oh, I can't think of the name. But I think it's underused. I think it should be used more, to be honest.
Well, I don't know if there is actually a mod you can get on Grand Prix 2, the Microprose Grand Prix 2 that Jeff Crummond made all those years back, because since then we've seen many circuit mods being designed from all over the world, and I don't know if there is a Brands Hatch Indy mod for that. I'd have to find out more about it. Not that I would maybe recommend using that particular mod, because you're less likely to see a lot of overtaking given how the AI cars would behave on that.
Yeah, probably best to leave that one alone as well. But I think going into the last 45 seconds, it is looking like Hewlett may grab pole position unless anybody else can do something quite amazing here. Not quite sure what they're going to be able to do, but we are going to find out whether or not they can do something incredible. Johnson is really the main man, but he's sat in pit lane. Kirk's out on the racetrack. He might be able to get another one done, but we are going to find out very, very shortly. If you don't know Brands, I'd just like to say, where have you been? Let's just put it that way. It's a great circuit here for many people, and one that you can enjoy. You can go and visit, and it is been told that out of Clark and Paddock Hill, you can see a lot of the, well, pretty much the whole circuit, Tom, can't you, from the certain corners?
Yeah, you can. I was going back to what I was saying earlier about on the exit clearways towards the Brabham Straight. If you stand in a particular spot, you could just about see the whole circuit. Maybe not at the entry of Paddock Hill Bend, because of where the radio station is situated at, where the radio sign is, where it says FM and whatever number it is. And but everywhere else, you can very much see every bit of the action you could possibly get. But yeah, it is very, very nice to see all the cars go around this course, because it is quite a trek to walk towards the Grand Prix configuration, because you can't quite see everything. I've walked around the exteriors of Brands Hatch, but not quite done any trackside stuff for it yet. Well, I did do a little bit like last year, but not a lot of it. But hopefully it will be that case this time around. As qualifying concludes, James, we've got drivers just completing their final laps. Justin Kirk is looking to try and improve on his time at the very minimum. We'll find out. Nope, he's gone back to pit lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to go straight into the race very, very shortly. With these guys getting on the grid, it does look like Jake Hewlett has taken pole position, with Will Johnson second, Crypto Dave third, then Justin Kirk and Will Butsey, Ryan Turner, Harry, Jake and Bob all at the bottom. It sounds like a party and a train spotters convention on that one. I don't know, Tom, that might be true. No offence to anybody that if they are called Harry, Jake and Bob, please don't get offended, or, you know, be upset by it. I was only playing, but there we go. Let's see how these guys get on for this race. 15 minutes and a reverse for race number 2. Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages, because I can tell you what, this is going to go off big style. This is going to be absolutely flat manic from the moment they start here, Tom, to the moment they go over the checkered flag.
I couldn't agree more. We expect something like 17 laps for this first race, and perhaps the second one as well. We'll see soon enough. Jake Hewlett on pole position. I'd expect him to pull away and not be challenged, but race 2 should be more of a challenge for him later on.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be. And we'll see how he gets on, because he's got to come through the field for race number 2. But let's see what goes on here and whether or not This is going to work out well for Jake at the same time. Right, on board with some of these guys here at Brands Hatch. The lights are going to be coming on very, very shortly. We're going to get ready to go here on board with Jake Hewlett now on pole. Lights are off. Lights are gone, and we are green, green, green for the opening race here of the mini challenges. They go hurtling down into Paddock Hill for the first time. It is Hewlett out in front. He's sat in there with the second place car of Will Johnson. Kirk and Dave are swapping places. Dave, unfortunately, has gone down the order. There's a spinner in the back as well. And I think that might be Harry, who has just caught the nose there. And unfortunately for Harry, he's dropped all the way to the back of the field. But Butsy's gained a position as well. Sam Hayes has moved up inside over Crypto Dave. Dave's losing a lot of time here, Tom, right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's Jake has spun round at the back. He'd gone into the barrier on the entry to Druids, but has continued. But yeah, it's a super start from Jake Hewlett as expected. And we've got Johnson running in P2, Will Johnson that is. And it's Crypto Dave who's dropped down the order from where he was on the grid. He was third on the grid, now he's down to what looks like 5th position. He's got Sam Hayes right in front of him. On the entry towards Paddock Hill Bends, and that should be neatly done despite a luck up there, but he's managed to do it in the end.
Yeah, Hayes is going to come back up at him now in the run up through Pilgrim's Rise, coming into Druids. Contact on the way in. Dave again. Wow. Bigger piece of contact there. Welcome to 150 Motorsport, Crypto Dave. You have just met Sam Hayes, Justin Kirk and Ryan Turner all in one go, and unfortunately for Dave, he's dropped down to 7th place. Johnson sitting in 2nd, Butsy tucked up behind him in 3rd, then Hayes, Kirk and Turner, Crypto Dave, Harry, Bob and Jake having a battle at the back. There's Bob, there's Jake as they're continuing to fight for that final position here. But at the moment, Jake Hewlett kind of escaping off down the road, Tom, and kind of, well, doesn't ever look like he's ever been away, does it really?
Not really. But I'm going back to that incident involving Sam Hayes and Crypto Dave. It was a little bit naughty the way Hayes cut across on Dave on the approach to Druids. I know we won't get a replay on this particular mod, but it did look like Hayes just cut across there a little bit too needlessly and a little bit too robustly.
Well, we're going to have to find out how people feel about that a little bit later on, but Ryan Turner is in the mix. We've got Kirk sitting right up behind Hayes at the moment as well. And there is Justin Kirk on board with him. We go as he goes through the left-hander of Surtees, through the long looping right now. Is he going to be able to get the inside line? He's not. Big puff of smoke as they all go up on 2 wheels, and one of them smoking his head off. But here is Kirk chasing down Hayes, with Butsy chasing down Johnson in front. We've got Turner, Dave, Harry, Jake and Bob behind. Jake and Bob have just swapped places, and well, they're literally nose to tail as we speak.
Yeah, so Jake's just got through on Bob at Clearways and he's through into 9th position, but Bob is having to fight his way back on the inside, entering Paddock Hill, and they bang wheels, they both lock up together. It's almost like they're using each other as a break to get themselves slowed down, but Bob defending the line into Druids, thankfully didn't do that too late, so it makes it very, very clear that he's not going to be a pushover in this one, is Bob, despite his maladies a little bit earlier on that sent him to the back along with Jake, but at least they're still fighting it out by any means. But we are coming towards the end of lap 4 with Hewlett already building up a 4-second margin and a couple of swaps towards the front, James.
Yeah, Butsy's gone past Johnson, Johnson's gone past Butsy. That's why they're side by side at the moment here as they're coming into Paddock Hill. Butsy's on that inside line. Great battling from these guys. They swap places again. Crash with Bob, says Jake, and Jake and Bob have come together once more. And unfortunately, they're both dropping down the order. What is wrong? Well, Jake is there and Bob is there. So unfortunately, they may have had to come in together. Butsy and Johnson still continuing the fight. Harry and Turner. There's an incident further up as well. I think there might be Sam Hayes in the grass. It was Hayes in the grass with Kirk. And they have had to come in together at the same time. And unfortunately, Hayes and Kirk have gone down the order. That's put Turner and Harry up in the mix of 5th and 6th here. These guys having a right little Barney. I love this racing.
Yeah, I don't know whether what exactly happened involving Hayes and Kirk. It looks like it was just a simple coming together on the exit of Druid's corner. But all of this has helped Jake Hewlett continue to pull away from the others. Will Butsy in 2nd place ahead of Will Johnson. The gap between the two going over the line, they're less than how far they're behind each other? They're only like a few tenths off each other, Butsy and Johnson. So that battle is raging on. They were fighting for 4th position a moment ago. Now it's for 2nd place in this race. And we are loving the action we are seeing so far. Hopefully we don't get too many collisions, because we do want to see some drivers finishing this one, because the less cars we are seeing on circuit, the less battles we've got.
Yeah, as well. Big hello to Jordan McDonnell in YouTube chat as well. Do you even sleep, bro? I do. It's only the afternoon for us at the moment, mate. Well, let's say in the afternoon. It's 25 to 8 in the evening, buddy. So there we go. Whereas I do your Australian one at 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, very welcome in, bud. What are you even doing awake as well? You're miles in front of us at the moment. Should you not be asleep? So there we go. As we look at the Butsy Johnson fight, continue to battle on in these little minis in the AC mod here for the 150 Motorsport Challenge. And at the moment, these guys are having a right little thing. Now, you got to admit, though, Tom, these cars do look epic fun.
They do. They do look fun. They're not speedy, but they do look fun to drive. And I think I know what I would rather have. A fun car to drive or a fast one to drive. And to be honest with you, I'd go with the former. I'd rather have a fun car to drive, because sometimes cars can be too quick for some drivers' liking. And it's no wonder we've seen some drivers racing minis as opposed to the Formula 1 cars or even the sports cars all over the world. But these drivers are very much loving these Mini Cooper JCW Challenge F56 Evos, in case you wonder what the specific models are for these cars. So, but it is brilliant to watch them as they continue locking up. They're very, very aggressive on the brakes around here. That tells you how hard they are pushing so far, as we are on lap number 8 of what we expect it to be something like 17 laps here in Brands Hatch, depending on how quick Jake Hewlett gets on with it.
Yeah, Johnson still fighting away. Butsy's still in front of him. Johnson trying to get over him now. And you see he's just in there at the moment is Johnson. Kind of tracking Butsy. I wonder when he's going to look at thinking about making that move. That would be the interesting thing. Is he going to follow him for get the time down, do we think, out of this 8-minute mark? Or when's a good time, I suppose, here to actually make that move?
Well, he's bullying Butsy, just lambing on the brakes there. Butsy braked a little bit earlier than expected. I think that caught Johnson a little bit. I don't know if Johnson was a little bit spooked by that, because it looked like Butsy did brake earlier than what we've seen him do on previous laps. But Johnson, very lucky, he didn't go into the gravel trap on that occasion. But they still raging on. Yeah, they're just continuing to slam on the brakes. Do you see what I mean? The way Butsy slams on the brakes compared to Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson's a little bit softer. Butsy's a little bit left foot heavy. And at the moment, for Will Butsy, we're going to have to find out how he's going to carry on here, whether or not he's going to make this work or whether or not he's not. How's this going to play out for Johnson? That's the thing here. How's he going to sit back and deal with this? Is he going to be able to get over the Butsy? Is he going to be able to have a go at him? You know, this is one of the closest battles. Harry's just done his fastest lap, so is Ryan Turner. Kirk's in the background, and there as well. Big puff of smoke for him, but you can see Turner and Harry are having another little ding-dong as well.
Johnson's dropped back from Butsy, James, and the reason why he's done that is just so that he doesn't run into him for the next few laps, because he almost went into the gravel trap when he tried to just slam on the brakes to avoid running into Butsy and survived that time around. We may go back to the battle between the 2nd and 3rd place drivers, but for now we are watching Harry in 6th place behind Ryan Turner, exiting Clearway's corner now. And there's still no way through yet for Harry. I would expect Harry to get this overtake completed in the near future. He might even do it now if he's brave on the brakes here compared to Turner, because we know how feisty Turner can be, but he is prone to making mistakes, is right. You can see, lock it up, and into the gravel he goes, James, and there you go. That proves my point.
Yeah, there goes Harry. Harry is through. Butsy and Johnson still as they were. Here, still fighting out 5.5 minutes. Well, it's just under 6 minutes to go. And you can see Will Johnson there closing in on Butsy through the left-hander. Now we go through the right-hander. Is he going to be able to hold on as well? That's a horrible camera angle. Now we go again through the long looping right-hander. And over the line we're going to go, and at the moment Johnson is going to stay in behind Butsy. No move coming. Is he going to make it down into turn number 1? See them coming towards us now. He's pulled out to the right hand side. Is he going to be able to make this? That's going to be the question. No, he cannot make it is the answer. Butsy manages to hold on.
The outside's not where you want to be for Paddock Hill Bend because
Oh,
he's going. Oh no, he's gone off.
Oh, Johnson there's gone off, unfortunately, and has now put himself into the frame of Crypto Dave. And there's Harry, there's Ryan Turner trying to play catch up. Kirk has got Hayes closing in on him at the same time. So Hayes there closing in on Kirk, and at the moment Hewlett's out in front by over 12 seconds, Tom. 12 seconds flying for Jake there.
Yeah, I'm still pushing. I think he wants to try and get a fastest lap if he can. But he's done a 49.7 throughout the race so far. I wouldn't expect anyone to beat that for the foreseeable future. But Hewlett can just afford to take it easy from now until the checkered flag. What I will say about Will Johnson is that he tried to complete the outside manoeuvre into Paddock Hill Bend, which is never going to work anyway, because if you're on the inside, you are going to decline earlier than the driver is on the outside, making it harder for the driver on the outside to overtake successfully. So I don't know why Johnson tried to go for it around the outside when it was never going to work on that occasion. Unless you've got your nose in front before you get to turn one, that's fine. But if you are not quite even half a car's length alongside, enter it Paddock Hill Bend and you're on the outside, it's never going to work.
Yeah, but they don't know that. That's the thing. They don't know that. They want to have a go. You know, and they are going to have a go and they want to try it, and they're going to try and go around the outside where possible. And that's the thing. They want to make sure that they can get it done, and they're just going to try it. They're racing drivers at the end of the day, and that's something that I think sometimes we forget, that they are racing drivers and they want to go and do that.
It's about being smart though, because if you can bully them a little bit and forcing them into a mistake like what we saw with Harry when he forced Ryan Turner to lock up and go into the gravel, that's the kind of tactic that you need to do if you want to get past someone. And that's a way of how to do it from Harry's perspective, whereas with Will Johnson, it's not the way to do it. So Will Johnson just needs to dig in deeper and just get back to the rear of Will Butsey and try a different tactic to what he did last time, because the previous time it didn't work for him.
Yeah, Kirk there still nestles in behind Turner as these guys continue to have a good old scrap here. Through the right hander of Paddock Hill, down the other side they go. You can see Hayes in our mirror in the top, just as he's coming into shot at the same time, up through Druids. Hayes closing right in at the moment. Sam Hayes looking very, very quick in behind us.
He is, and after the off he had with Justin Kirk earlier, he wants to, I don't know whether he feels he wants to get his own back on him for what happened, but he's got to make sure he keeps it clean from here on in, and I'm sure he'll do that. He's only out of time. He's only got just over 2 minutes. I would say we've got at most 3 laps to go for Jake Hewlett. He is on his 16th lap. He's coming round to, where is he now? He's at Graham Hill Bend, isn't he? So he'll be going through there. He might actually, if he's lucky, he might get 3 more laps in, but at least it'll be 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 1 and 1 more. Hayes is going to look up the inside. There was a lock up in front of us there. From Kirk, onto the brakes we go, going into Druids through the right hander now. And Hayes is bullying Kirk as much as he can here, Tom. He's giving him a right little argy-bargy elbow.
Yeah, this is trying to make up for lost time. This is what he should have been doing earlier on in the race before they collided. And Hayes, well, he's still behind Kirk for the time being, but I think it's a matter of time before he eventually gets past Justin. So he's looking to the outside there, which is ideal because you are going to gain more traction and speed all the way down towards Paddock Hill Bend, but Kirk reads it and holds him back.
No, he does. And Kirk there not getting done by Hayes. I think there's going to be 1 more after this, to be honest with you. Hewlett's on his way round Surtees. He's doing 50-second lap times. Contact! Kirk's in the wall. Kirk is in the wall.
How much damage has he sustained? Surely that was a big whack, unless the damage mod is off. But either way, Jake Hewlett is going to start his final lap.
Yeah, he's gone and led from start to finish. 17-second lead here. Hewlett puffs the smoke out of that right rear in this little Mini, coming in through Druids for the final time before we go into race number 2. And at the moment, Jake Hewlett has just started where he left off and absolutely dominated this race. How is this going to be for race number 2, though? Are they all going to be able to stop him from taking that race victory in race number 2? Because clearly Hewlett's got the pace here tonight, and how are they going to be able to stop Hewlett doing that?
Well, the chances are they won't, because he's just got far too much pace in himself. I mean, he's over 17 seconds clear, and now he's about to take the checker flag.
Yeah, Jake Hewlett comes over the line. He takes the victory in race number 1. There he is there. Great job from him. Will Buttsey's going to come over the line in second place. Only just, mind you, because him and Johnson are still fighting it out. There goes Buttsey, and he does manage to grab that second and third spot. Job done for them too. Crypto Dave comes over the line in 4th. Kirk and Hayes still barneying with each other all the way round to the line there. Oh, Kirk couldn't quite get the rotation. It does look like Hayes is going to take their 7th spot. And Hayes does take the 7th spot with Kirk in behind, with Jake and then Bob coming over the line in behind them. A great race number 1. I've loved this.
Yeah, it was not too bad, wasn't it? At least all of them finishing on the same lap as the race winner. Well done to Jake Hewlett on that convincing performance.
Absolutely dominated. Absolutely dominated. So it's going to be how he's going to get on for race number 2. Hewlett takes the win with Butsey in 2nd, then Johnson in 3rd. Then we've got Crypto Dave, Harry, Ryan Turner, Sam Hayes, Justin Kirk, Jake and Bob finishing off there. So Will Butsey and Will Johnson, the battle of the wheels in 2nd and 3rd there. So great run from them. Round 2, race number 2. What do we reckon? More of the same if we can?
Yep, I should think so. And I think with most of the faster drivers out of position, it should spice things up. That's for absolutely sure. And I wonder what Bob will be thinking, given he'll be on reverse grid pole. Surely he's got to try and get his elbows out.
Yeah, he's got to give it a go. Don't roll over. Don't roll over. I don't like people who roll over. Give it a go. Get your elbows out and have a nice little bit of a ding-dong. The more fun you have, the better it is for you. So there we go for Bob. He's just going to have to go and get his elbows out and go for it. That's what I think he should do in race number 2, as all the cars are in pit lane. But it was this car at the front there for Jake Hewlett who took the victory. So well done to him. And there he is in that Powerflex pink Mini, looking absolutely incredible. So, Alicia, you can go and give your man a pat on the head and say, well done for race number 1.
And I do wish for that as well. And we're just waiting for the second race grid to form up. Do make sure you subscribe as well if you are watching us. And do get involved in the live chat. If you want to ask any questions to us whilst we are commentating these beloved Mini Coopers around the Brands Hatch Indy course. It's a lovely circuit, especially on a nice sunny day. It's been rather sunny over in the UK over the last week or so. So it's not too bad. Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I think there was some GB3 and GB4 action over at Donington at the weekend in really lovely sunny conditions.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I just hope it stays sunny for next weekend, not this weekend coming, the following weekend. That would be nice, because you don't do drag racing in the rain, unfortunately. So I'm hoping for a nice sunny weekend at Santa Pod. If anybody's going up to the Festival of Power, pop in and say hello. We will be in the pit lane with my old boy doing his little bikes. So I'm hoping it stays sunny, Tom, because yeah, it's a bit of a washout if it's unfortunately raining in junior drag bike racing. So there we go. And then if you are going up to Brands, I think it is it the 1st of May, the first Brands BTCC run?
No, it's the second weekend of May, James. It's
That's the 8th, isn't it?
No, it's the 10th and 11th of May when BTCC Indy. But of course, go on.
Since I look at our calendar now and realise that actually I can't make it because I've got too much on. Oh, a bit upsetting. I'll have to have a quick look.
And I know that British touring cars are racing at Brands for the season finale on the first weekend of October.
Maybe I can. Well, we'll see on that one. And go from there. We'll see what goes on here as well. Just waiting for the session swap. Session swap's taking quite a minute. There we go. We are back over. And as you can see, it's a full reverse grid. Mr. Hewlett at the back end there, as everybody else has got back onto the grid, ready to go. So let's see what takes shape. See how we all get on. The lights are going to be coming on. And there's a couple of people missing here from race number 2. And there we go. Kirk is DNF'd already, apparently, as we battling it out with the cars. There is Mr. Hewlett trying to make his way through the field right at the start. There's more taps, tags, and a bit of bumper banging there. But it is Jake at the front at the moment. He's escaped up the road, Tom. He's done what he had to do. Big old crash in the back. Butsy's across the track. Everybody goes and unfortunately makes contact with him. And poor old Will Butsy became the ball at the pinball alley, should we say, as he was there fighting it out, unfortunately for Butsy. But he did manage to keep going. Fair play to him as these guys continue to scrap.
Yep, so they continue on their way. Jake Hewlett had to go through that pinball. He's in 7th place from where he had started. I don't know where Justin Kirk has got up to, whether he needed a quick toilet break or whatever in between races and didn't realise that the second race had already started. But either way, he's not in session. It's Jake, not Hewlett, who is in the lead, ahead of Ryan Taylor in 2nd place, and it's Sam Hayes in 3rd position. Can they take the fight to Jake Hewlett once Hewlett gets into his zone? Because he's got a bit of ground to make up.
Or they don't let him through. They throw big old blocks, big old defences. You know what I mean? Power America. Well, unfortunately for Johnson there, he didn't have much choice as Hewlett's coming through the field. What's Harry going to do here? Is Harry going to throw some defensive drive in at Jake Hewlett? Is he going to make him think about what he's going to do? Into the left-hander they go. Harry's still in front of Jake. He's got a little bit squirrely. He's got a little bit deep. Jake's going to slip up the inside. That's 2. No, Harry's going to give him a run. Is there going to be a free wide moment here? You can see the car in the background of Will Johnson. Is he going to want to come and get involved in the moment? Is he going to dive through the middle? No. Jake Hewlett on the right, Harry on the left, and it is Jake who gets another position going into turn number 1. More puffs of smoke from Butsy up in front, and Hewlett again to the right-hand side, goes straight on the defence. Harry's going to try and send it round the outside, and at the moment, Harry's giving Jake a good old little battle here, but I think Hewlett's going to come out on top.
Hewlett demonstrating how it's done into Paddy Bend. The inside is where you want to be at, and if you cut across soon enough to defend the line, because it's an uphill gradient or on camber, if it's called that, where the corner itself is on an incline into the exit, and just see all the puffs of smoke as the drivers continue to look at the clearways. Yeah.
This is some close action. Hayes on Turner. Butsy's in the background there, coming down into turn number 1. Turner's going to dive the inside line. Is he going to be able to make it through? No, Hayes sends him off. I think Turner's on the left-hand side. He is. He loses all them spots, goes straight down to the bottom. Butsy's going to have a go as well now. Butsy makes it up in the inside with Jake Hewlett sitting in 3rd at the moment. 3rd already, and we're only at the end of, what are we, lap 2?
Lap 4 run, I think. Well, just like Hewlett take evasive action because Hayes got way out of shape entering Graham Hill Bend, and Hewlett just says, thank you very much, I'll take the final podium place off you. We're seeing a little bit further action going and further behind. You just see some going through Surtees' corner, almost nose to tail. But it's not just what's going on at the front, it's towards the back as well. We're just seeing, who's that's just fighting amongst themselves there, a couple of cars behind. That is Will Johnson with Harry in front of him. Johnson has the inside line, but Harry is able to hold him off for the time being, but he's gone very deep.
Yeah, he has. Harry's got to make sure he can go on the defence. He didn't really defend Druids, didn't get that car stopped. That's going to give Johnson a bit of a run on the inside. You can see Hewlett battling away with Butsy further up as well. There is Butsy there. Why can't Hayes not smash into everyone? Well, it wouldn't be Sam Hayes if he didn't do that, would it? Let's be real. And Butsy goes up. He's got to get that car stopped though. Does get it stopped, does he? Is he going to be able to get the tighter line? Is he going to try and come across the nose of Hewlett? He doesn't. He lets Hewlett have the inside line. Will Butsy rolls over like my dashhound who wants his belly tickled. Jake Hewlett goes through. That is it. Hewlett's done the tickling. Butsy's rolled on his back. And unfortunately, Will Butsy there, Hewlett just made mincemeat of him.
Well, Butsy just didn't cover the inside on the exit where he could have just upset Hewlett's momentum all the way down the pit straight, and that would have bought Jake, who is further ahead, some time to hold off Hewlett. But now with Hewlett disposing of Butsy, he can just go after Jake, and that's the only driver in his way between a second race win this evening.
Yeah, it is. Ryan Turner threw it in the gravel, Alicia, and Bob's also gone and done that at the same time. So poor old Bob there. Crypto Dave looks like he might have had some dramas in the middle, but at the moment Hayes chasing Butsy trying to stay with Hewlett, and Hewlett trying to get up 2.4 seconds over Jake up front. So it's the battle of the Jakes at the moment, as it was the battle of the wheels last time around. So let's see, Johnson and Harry are having a nice little bit of a ding dong further back at the moment. There you go, as they're going down through the right hander, as they're continuing the fight here as well. 9.5 minutes to go already. Blimey, this has gone quick.
It has, but we are still seeing a lot of action involving these drivers. One driver is trying to make up for lost time is Will Johnson. He's had an eventful evening so far, it has to be said, with all the backing he's been involved in. But now he's got Harry ahead, who's the only driver in the way of fifth position.
Yeah.
So what Johnson want to make his way through. Just see how heavy that he took the curves there, did Harry, which will upset the car's momentum towards clearways, and that might give Johnson a little bit of an opportunity to send one on the inside. The gap between the two Jakes now has come down to just under a second.
Yeah, Hewlett there, 8.5 minutes to go. What is Hewlett going to do over Jake in front? I'm going to refer to him that way round. It might make it a little bit easier for us. And Hewlett, oh, Jake runs in a little bit wide. Hewlett tucked in right behind him now. Hewlett looks at taking a shallower line, comes through, keeps it off the grass on the outside. Now the run into the left-hander. Is he going to be able to make it through here? This is not going to be very long, I don't think. Sorry, Jake, but I think Hewlett's coming, and he's going to come straight through you very, very quickly. Will Johnson and Harry have had a bit of a ding-dong. They've unfortunately made contact and has crashed, but Hewlett, you see at the moment here as well, Tom, just going to get the job done, going around the outside into turn number one. Is Jake going to defend? He does. He's got to send him in deep. Send it in deep, force him out wide. Open the steering up just a little bit. Jake comes and covers the inside line. He's going to make Hewlett go around the outside of Druids. Hewlett says, okay, I'll do that. No problem at all. Round he goes. He's got the inside line for the next run down through Graham Hill now. Jake Hewlett, well, last to first, and flying job there.
Yeah, and they both run wide on the exit, but it was a very, very nice overtake from Jake Hewlett. I think if it was someone who's able to do that, it's been him. No one else has been able to do that all evening. Sending one right round the outside through Padicle Bend and Druids, and there you could just see Jake further behind, just trying to, make up the ground there. But he's just got to be wary of the fact that Will Butsy and Sam Hayes will be looming in on him. So if I was Jake, the man in second place, I'd focus more on just looking after the tyres and keeping Butsy and Hayes back. Yeah,
that's what I would look at doing as well. I would try and keep Butsy and Hayes in behind him. Sam there, sitting in the 3.5 seconds away from the leader. We've got Harry and Johnson. Turner is in the background. There he is there, but Johnson and Harry still going side by side. Johnson's on the right-hand side, Harry's on the left as they plunge down the hill, coming into Graham Hill now through the left-hander. Harry manages to hold on, he gets a poor run. That's going to put Johnson around the outside. Surely he got the job done, he did. Now coming into the left-hander of Surtees. Can Johnson hold it? He does hold it, and that was all because Harry tightened up that turn.
He did, but did Johnson gain the overtake by going off the circuit? I was looking at that rather carefully, and I thought, is that really allowed? We'll leave that for the stewards to decide after. But yeah, Johnson threw on Harry, nevertheless, into 5th place, and he'll want to get into the battle with Hayes, Butsy, and Jake, because they're going to be fighting amongst themselves between now and the end. Yeah,
I think they are. There's Butsy, there's Hayes, Jake's coming in as well. Track limits overtake. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Captain, maybe. But we'll have to find out there. See what happens. Hey, dude, that's not our call. You know that. If I get... The problem is, Captain, if I generally end up saying anything, I get myself in trouble. So I'm not going to say nothing. And we'll leave that one up to any form of stewarding that they want to do, whether or not that's going to take place here and whether or not Sam Hayes is going to be doing that. We'll find out. But he's closing in on Butsy at the moment. Hayes with Johnson in behind. Harry is still in there as well. These two are stuck together like Velcro at the moment, Tom. They're not really leaving each other alone.
Nope. And the battle for second place is going to be really, really interesting between now and the end, because Jake has defended brilliantly so far, especially when he held Jake Hewlett back for as long as he had done. But now he's just got to focus on bringing the car home in second place with Butsy, who's run about 1.5 seconds back from him. So Jake is managing the gap actually rather well at this stage of the race as the field close in on him. But they're kind of more in single file for the time being. But it's a great job from where Jake has started.
Oh, Captain, I'm not reading that out. You're not getting me in trouble like that, son. No. He just gets elbows out, Captain. It's wrong place, wrong time. Cars are there when they shouldn't be. Yeah, you know, it's a sticky point, isn't it? But I ain't reading that. That's down to you to get contoned on that one. As these guys carry on fighting it out. Butsy, Hayes, Johnson, Harry, Jake's up front as well, managing that gap. So he's doing rather well for himself at the moment. There is Jake going into Druids. Butsy's gone in front. Hayes has gone in as well. Johnson's tucked in right behind Hayes now. Johnson's closed the gap here, Tom. I think Hayes could be in trouble over the next 4 minutes.
Well, we'll see soon enough. That we're looking at Sam Hayes. Those Johnson right behind has clawed the gap down on him rather quickly since his overtake on Harry not too long ago. But, you know, they don't want to be battling too much because they want to be in the fray for a podium against Butsy and Jake. So I think Johnson's got to play this one carefully. He's seen an overtake. I think that's because Harry has had an off at Clearways and has continued.
Yeah, his fastest lap there just popped up on the bottom of the screen from Jake Hewlett. Butsy's in that middle pack. He can see Jake up in front. He can see Hayes coming at him. Hayes coming quick, thick and fast. Alicia's biting her fingernails here. Not quite sure. Jake, blinking hell, your other half's out in front. Oh, Johnson's gone round. Yeah. He did lose it into Druids and now goes over the grass. That's kind of spread this guy. They've spread the field out here, unfortunately. But it's worked out well for Jake at the moment. He's still sitting in that second place.
Johnson did exactly what he shouldn't have done, and that was battling it out with Sam Hayes at Druids Corner when there was no way he was going to get through. And that has cost him ground to Jake and Butsy as a consequence.
Yeah, it has. Jake 6.1 seconds now behind Mr. Hewlett. Hewlett's on his way round, coming up into Druids. That's 9th place man of Bob in front of him. I've got a funny feeling Bob might finish a lap down here if he's not too careful. Butsy's in behind, and we've got Sam Hayes being behind that. Will Johnson in that lovely looking machine as well. I do love a little contrast liveried silver, pink and green. Looks absolutely amazing. Ryan Turner tucked in right behind. Crypto Dave also in the mix, and Harry is just about there. If he can just get a couple of nice little good corners, I think Harry might be involved in this battle as well. But Jake at the moment sitting in second place. Oh God, hold it, son, hold it. Oh, Butsy's going to sneak through. Well, that gives us a nice close battle for the last couple of minutes.
It does, but that was a really costly error by Jake, dipping a wheel onto the grass, entering Clearways. How costly could that be for him? Now he's got to hope that Butsy makes a mistake in front, which is rare that we see from Butsy. You can just see he's making a lock up into turn number 1 of Paddock Hill Bend, getting away with it. But yeah, Jake will be ruining that. Yeah,
I do agree with you. I think he will be, but it's been... there was so much promise there, wasn't there, from Jake? That's the thing. He showed so much promise, and then unfortunately got it all wrong. Butsy did not have a good corner there either. As we look inside the cockpit, bang, down on the gear, he goes up. Now he's going to go on the brakes, get that car back down again. Jake's going for it. 1 minute 29 on the clock. We're going to have one and one more, believe it or not. So there we go. Butsy must have sorted his Wi-Fi. Who's on Wi-Fi nowadays, Alicia? I hope they're all plugged in, aren't they? They should be all plugged into the internet. I've got like a 15-meter cable running around my house, so I'm just making sure I'm plugged into the router. But I bet everybody else is, aren't they? If they're doing this, Tom, I would have thought.
Well, they thought maybe having a power line adapter, because that's what will help enhance the download speed and all that.
No, I just go straight in. I've got cable running around my house. The wife don't like it, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not going Wi-Fi because that would be absolutely horrendous. I want me 900 up and 900 down, thank you very much. So I go hardwired. It's the only way I can get it. But at the moment, Johnson's there. Butsy's in front. He's got Jake closing in behind him. There is Jake at the moment. And he's doing a good job. Moving his way forward as we look back now at Hayes. Hayes and Johnson having a nice little ding-dong. There is Hayes. And you can see Johnson in behind him here. So these guys are going to continue to fight at the moment. But Mr. Hewlett is on his way round for the final lap of the race. And he's on his way through Graham Hill. We are the same with the cable. Yeah, definitely. You've got to be hard-biting. And Johnson's just going to dive Hayes right at the end there. Hewlett's coming into the left-hander of Surtees now. And Johnson did get him, but it is going to be Mr. Hewlett once more. He's going to come over the line. He's going to take this victory in race number 2. Double for Mr. Hewlett. Great win for him. Done and dusted. But Jake Hewlett picks up the victory once more. Jake, did he get Butsy? No, Butsy hangs on for that second place. Jake in third place there as well. And Will Johnson did get Sam Hayes at the end here with Ryan Turner and Crypto Dave with Harry in the background. You've got to admit, that's great racing. I've enjoyed that.
I've enjoyed it as well, and hopefully we'll see more of it at Donington next time around. But 2 wins out of 2 for Jake Hewlett, as expected. Will he carry on that form next week? I wouldn't be so surprised if he did so, yeah. Probably.
Let us know if you've got any track recommendations, guys, as well. We've got to be confirmed from round 4, 5 and 6. I've put mine in as Thruxton. Let us know if anybody wants anything different. We've obviously got the likes of Cadwell Park. You've got Knock Hill. Do that in reverse as well if you want. So let us know if you've got any tracks that you think these minis will be good at. I do think Thruxton will be absolutely amazing on that one, and I would look forward to watching that if it ever was an option. As I say, I've put my track list in. We'll see what happens. But Jake Hewlett takes the win in race number 2 with Mr. Butsy. Jake grabs third after some unlucky incidents there for him. Will Johnson in 4th with Sam Hayes 5th and Ryan Turner. Crypto Dave takes it in 7th with Harry, Bob and Kirk on that one. Great racing. I fully enjoyed that one here this evening as well. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, join us a little bit later on. In about 5 minutes, there is the on the virtual track podcast gone live with Stacey Scotts this week, who's having a chat with myself. She's a great lady, new to sim racing, but boy, oh boy, has she got an historic past. Go and listen in or watch it on that one. But for now, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining myself. I've been JP alongside Tom Cairns. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.